Hi, and welcome to our review of the RTB 17/19 holster. Hi, I'm Craig with Secret Squirrel Concealed Carry, and we're going to be going over a holster review of this one right here. This is our Fobus RBT 17/19 holster. So during this review, we'll kind of point out both the pros and cons of this type of holster, and based on what it is initially designed for, if it's going to be right for you. All right, first off the bat, Fobus as a company was created and founded in Israel. Israel is one of those places in the world that sees combat quite a bit, and so they go through quite a few different types of intelligent designs when it comes to combat and tactical applications. In addition to that fact, though, just like Krav Maga, how it's an adaptable type of art form, it's the same idea when it comes to Fobus and the holsters that they offer. Fobus as a company has a gradient style when it comes to the holsters and their individual craftsmanship. You can pay for more based on what you're looking for, or you can go on the lower end based on what you'd like as well. It's no different from a group like Blackhawk. Blackhawk does something similar. They have more high-end type materials, and they have more low-end based on just the average layman's approach towards getting into the holster world. This particular holster, the RTB 17/19, is on a little bit more of the higher end, meaning out of their price points for Fobus itself, it's a little more expensive. So is it worth the money? Based on the individual tactical application of this holster, absolutely. First off, let's go over what's great. This holster itself was made to be adaptable to both a duty belt or war belt type setup, as well as an average day-to-day clothing setup as well. What makes it allow that to happen is this overall system here on the back, allowing you to be able to remove the paddle or the belt attachment for this particular holster and place on which one you're going for. This particular configuration is a little bit more for a regular belt setup or for regular layman's clothing type setup, but it does come with the optional belt loops if necessary. These belt loops, of course, coming in major sizes between 2 inches and 2 1/4 inches, allowing for war belt setup, things like that, based on your choice. I personally like this the configuration because it also comes with a major slot here on the inside of even the paddle itself, allowing for good placement on a good pair of jeans and a belt, and allowing it to really cinch down in place and really making it comfortable against your body where you kind of forget about it. One of the major selling points of this holster itself, though, is its adaptability when it comes to firearms furniture. What is firearms furniture? Well, it all comes down to the lights and lasers that you choose for your individual firearm and that you're going to place. Sometimes it can be a real pain when you're going through holster selection and the company that you like doesn't make a holster for that particular light or laser, or you've chosen later on, so you have a main firearm platform that you're running like a Glock, but then you choose which flashlight you go from to a different one, and then of course the holster that you may be running is no longer effectual for your choice. The Fobus itself makes this very easy to be able to make changes that you want to be able to make and still keep the original holster that you're going for. It does that through 2 different major features. Number one is this latch here on the one side, allowing for it to be able to hinge open, exposing a major portion of the holster itself, and then the snap retention that comes with it, allowing you to be able to quickly release from the actual position that you need it to be in, allowing it to hinge and then be wide open. This allows from either a direct straight up draw or from a hinge back, a number of other positions that as long as you're strong arming the firearm, you can get free and quickly. This is a Glock 17 yellow gun with my TLR-1 HL light setup from Surefire on it. As you can see, it's on the outside of the holster itself, not encased on the inside of the holster. With the snap in place, I'm able to quickly release and pull back and gain access to the firearm with the individual light on it itself. What helps maintain the retention of the firearm inside the holster itself is not just the snap, but in addition, in the very, very end of the channel, there's a post here, which allows the barrel of the firearm to be placed inside. This also allows you to be able to hinge the firearm out if you want a quicker draw from the hip location rather than a straight up type draw. So that's all great with the good stuff. What about the bad? First and foremost is the exposure of the elements to your firearm and firearms furniture. With the firearm itself partially exposed in this way, any type of dust or any type of bodily fluids from bad guys or other things is now allowed to get on the firearm portion itself. In addition, allowing for additional surfaces to get snagged on anything else that you may be tumbling around with or on the ground with as a result. Another slight side effect of this particular latch system and allowing for all this additional furniture to be on the firearm is a little bit of give. The firearm itself has a little bit of movement as you're holding it in the holster. Now, if it's on a position on your hip or on a duty belt, it stays in position very well. But as soon as we initiate a little bit of gravity, we've got a little bit of movement and possible rattling. In a tactical environment, this can be a little frustrating. In addition, if some of these exposed elements that we just mentioned, if you get a little bit of dust inside that holster, then that's now going to sit in there as well. The actual holster portion itself is made out of a very, very durable, heavy-duty polymer. But the latch system and the attachment paddle is made out of a different type of polymer. As a result, if you're going to have to roll around with a bad guy, or possibly if the holster itself gets snagged on some other type of environmental issue, trees, rocks, the seatbelt from a duty vehicle, so on and so forth, the possibility exists that the Kydex could fail and possibly rip free. Lastly, the only problem that I see with this holster is its retention. The retention of the holster itself is defeated simply only by that snap latch. Now, this is the case with many other law enforcement duty holsters that are simply just a snap, and others it's no different, but this one is on the side instead of on the top. And when it's on the top on the inside, usually the officer is usually the one that mainly has access to it. On this one being on the side, the perpetrator or bad guy trying to come for your weapon has much more easier access to it there. So, is it worth the money? Absolutely. This holster is worth the money if what you're going for is tactical modulability and a transfer between duty use on a belt or war belt to day-to-day type of outside the waistband use. If that's what you're using it for, there's a low threshold for training for this holster. It's very simply easy to use straight out of the box, and there's no real breaking in period for the holster itself. Being made out of Kydex makes it very easy to clean. The instructions for it is very minimal, and it allows for all the great benefits of this holster to be accessible right away. Hey guys, this has been our holster review for RBT 17/19. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Is this our only one? No, we're going to do lots more. We're going to go ahead and do everything from holsters to tactical equipment to emergency prep and others, all in an effort to meet our goal, to make you the best concealed carrier that you can be. Now remember what we say here at Secret Squirrel Concealed Carry, always protect your nuts.